How's it going, guys? Welcome to the NFL edition of Sideline to Sideline. I'm your host, Brandon, with my co-host, Taylor. What's going on, Taylor?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good. So let's get right into it. The other night's game, Bills versus the Patriots. Very big-time game, throwing the ball. Mac Jones was dominant. We've never seen a quarterback play like this ever. He had over 100% rating. My man, 2 completions out of 3 attempts for 19 yards.
Absolutely dominant.
Unit. We have not seen a quarterback play
Stellar performance
like this since Kevin Kolb. All right. We're going it way back. All jokes aside, it was very windy, and the Patriots come back with they pull it off. They literally just ran the ball, and I think they followed Indianapolis Colts steps to beat the Bills, and that's to run the ball. They have no run defense. And with it being windy, what else are you going to do? I mean, Damian Harris had 10 carries for 111 yards and a TD, and then Stevenson had 24 carries for 78 yards. I mean, they almost had 200 yards rushing in that game. Expand.
I'm kind of confused as to what the Bills were doing. I mean, they had like 50-mile-an-hour wind gust at some point during the game. It was snowy. It was cold. You're throwing 30 times in that weather. Why didn't you run the ball more? I mean, 15 completions, 145 yards passing. I definitely don't understand what the Bills were doing. They definitely should have went to the ground game, followed the Patriots and what they were doing. I mean, that's the only way to win.
They don't have a running back. I mean,
look, all I'm saying is anything would be better than passing in those conditions. That's all I'm saying. The Patriots knew that coming into the game. That's why they only threw 3 times during the game, and then they ran the ball the rest of the time. I think they ran the ball 90% of the plays that they ran, including punts, kicks, everything like that. 90% running. They knew the game plan going in. It worked out for them. They got the win. The Buffalo Bills, you lost yourself that game. Passing with 50-mile-an-hour winds never turns out the way.
The Bills we already said this, they were very overrated.
Yeah, they're pretenders, 100%.
Yeah, and they're pretenders. We bought the hype a little. I mean, I bought the hype, I should say. I had them.
No, I did too.
In the Super Bowl. But then you kind of take a step back and you kind of look at who they played and then how the season's progressed. Josh Allen, they're considering him elite. I think he definitely is maybe a top 10 quarterback. I don't know if
he's mid.
He is mid.
He's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
And when he's on, he's exhilarating to watch, but overall, he's 100% mid.
I think Josh Allen needs more pieces. They definitely need a running game. And they need a run defense. Obviously, it's apparent when the only thing you don't even have to pass the ball. I mean, they only threw the ball 3 times and only completed 2 of them.
Yeah.
To beat the Bills. I mean, regardless of the situation where it was snowing really bad and super windy, your run defense should know going in, or your defense should know going into this game, they're running the ball 24/7. Yeah. We need to be able to stop the run. And the fact that they didn't do that speaks on them and their defensive coordinator not to make those adjustments.
At least by the third quarter, you should know, okay, they're running the ball. We know what's coming next. They just ran it straight up the middle every time, and the Bills made no adjustments, and they just let it happen.
They didn't even run to the outside or anything. It was just the same play. It was just
over and over and over again, and it killed them.
Just power run. Just
one of the oddest games I've ever watched, honestly.
Definitely. And I think this speaks volume about Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Everyone said he was washed, that Brady was the reason for his success. There are some people who counterpoint Belichick was the reason for Brady's. I think they're just 2 really good people that gelled together. Belichick had a crappy season last season, his first in forever for the Patriots. Not because of the loss of Tom Brady, but because it was a quarterback carousel. They had like 11 players call out because of COVID and not play that season. Cam Newton was serviceable at best. He wasn't that great, and he was continuously injured. So for what he had last season, they did works. But now look at him. They got rookie Mac Jones, and my man's throwing two passes and winning.
They've got Tom Brady 2.0, and I hate to say that, because when Tom Brady was a Patriots, I wasn't a fan of him.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a fan of him now because he still has success since leaving. Because I always said, oh, it's
I
the
like
Bill
Mac Jones.
Belichick system. It's the Bill Belichick system. Tom Brady proved that, hey, it was the Brady system. I'm over here winning Super Bowls. I can win games, whatever. Mac Jones comes in.
Yeah.
I love this kid.
He's a good kid.
I want to watch the Patriots when they play.
I
The
am.
kid is poised. And look, not many people know this, but he wore a wetsuit last night. And you know where he got that idea from? Tom Brady. Tom Brady
And
gave
surfers
him
on
that
the West
idea.
Coast.
And the surfers on the West Coast. But he gave him that idea, and he gave him this information like, hey, whenever it's cold and wet outside, I usually wear a wetsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps me warm. That way I'm not slowed down or anything
really
like
smart.
that.
I'm not going to lie.
Mac Jones is listening to these great players, and he's taking this information
Is
and
it considered a
using
wetsuit if you're like not wet though? Like,
Oh yeah, it's a wetsuit. Yeah, it doesn't have a tie, so.
Yeah.
But I love the kid. I love the Patriots right now. They're playing some really good football. I can't hate on them. Once these Patriots fans start coming back out from their rocks or whatever, then I'll probably start hating them a little more.
The Patriots fans come back out.
Yeah. But right now, I'm loving the Patriots football, and I'm loving Mac Daddy Jones, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I would agree. I am going to go see Mac Jones live against the Colts. Not this week; they're on bye, but next week. And so that's going to be a big time game. I'm hoping for the Colts though. They're my dark horse still, and they got to beat the Patriots. So,
I got the Patriots on that one, boy.
Oh man, hey,
that's my Super Bowl fave.
hey, listen, all right. They can still go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Colts.
True.
All right. Speaking of the Colts, we're gonna go ahead and go into it. Carson Wentz last game, they shut out the Texans. He threw 16-22, 158 yards and a TD. Nothing over the top, but did enough. And then Jonathan Taylor had 143 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Of course, again, we talked about Jonathan Taylor. He's our MVP favorite. He is dominating this season like no other.
Yep.
They're still kind of on the fence. They're on the bubble right now as far as getting into the playoffs. What will it take for the Colts to take it to the next level?
They need to get their passing game a little more developed. I know Carson Wentz is doing well.
They only have one receiver. They have Michael Pittman, and that's it.
Agree. But that is literally the only thing that the Colts are missing, and the only thing keeping them from being a top 5 team in the NFL right now. Because their defense is great. I mean, there's nothing you can really fix on the defensive side of things. There might be some tweaks, but overall their defense is good. Their run game's phenomenal. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, like you said, MVP favorite for both of us. Absolutely explosive. He put up 2 TDs this last game. He put up 4 TDs 3 games ago. The dude is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The only thing that they need to fix right now, I would say, is their pass game, and that's it.
And I would agree. I think to take it to the next level would probably next year, especially when Carson gets a full season under his off season under his belt. I mean, he's playing phenomenal this season. We'll get into it here in a second. But in the draft, they don't have their first round pick anymore. Last game against the Texans finally gave the Eagles their first round pick. So they'll have to wait till the second. But this is a very wide receiver needy or big time wide receiver draft. I think another wide receiver they could target in the draft could be a Landon Drake or Drake Landon, whatever his name is, from USC. Michael Pittman came out of USC. Both are big body wide receivers. I think he'd be a good fit in Indy. Opposite side, have a little Trojan kind of reunion in there. So it's kind of a name to keep your eye out for if you're an Indy fan.
If the Bengals have taught us anything, reuniting players from the same school works out phenomenally.
Yeah, I would agree there. But let's go into it. We talked about, obviously they need wide receiver help, and that's what will take them to the next level. That probably won't be until next season. I still think they get into the playoffs. Carson Wentz is 7 games with the passer rating above 100, which is tied for second in the NFL. All right, we're going to talk about Carson a little bit longer here today. So he's second in the NFL with 7 games above 100 passer rating, which is really good. He's 22-5 this season so far. He's on pace for almost 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 220 rushing yards. So to me, that's a That should put him in the MVP. If he puts 4,000 yards up and 30 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions, when he was in the MVP conversation, these would technically be better statistics than when he was potentially going to win the MVP. So that's my opinion. If he completes his stats that he's on pace for.
I would say the only thing that would hinder him as far as being in the race for the MVP are his interceptions. That would be the only thing I could see hindering him because on average, he puts up like 2 interceptions a game.
What?
That's his first game. He put up 2, second 1, third 0, or fourth 2, fifth 2,
he has
sixth
one of the lowest
2, seventh 2,
interceptions this season.
8th 3, 9th 3, 10th 0, 1, 3, 1.
Tom Brady has more interceptions than him this season.
I'm just saying, per game, he's averaging 2 interceptions this season. That would be the only thing for me personally that would hinder him from being in the MVP race.
Oh, then you got to take Tom Brady off, Pat Mahomes out.
Oh, I already told you last time.
Aaron Rodgers is out.
I told you that Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady should not be in the talk for MVP.
You'd be taking Aaron Rodgers out, too. They have about the same interception. I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers has like 4 or 5 himself right now. Both are about 5, I think.
Fair.
So,
but just from what I'm seeing, just for this right here, I'm saying, never mind. Hold on. I read that wrong. Disregard. He's averaging 2 TDs per game. The stats I have pulled up right here, extremely small.
My man's dyslexic.
I apologize. Yeah, I'm dyslexic right now. I apologize. Disregard from what I said. My stats were incorrect. His interceptions are not as high as I thought. It was his touchdowns, so that's actually pretty impressive. So disregard what I say.
Let's put this in comparison, right? We're considering Aaron Rodgers for MVP. Aaron Rodgers right now, I have his stats pulled up for this season. 2,800 yards. Carson, what we just say was at I think he's at like 2,800 as well.
He's at 29.
29. So he's got more yards than Aaron Rodgers. He's got 22 passing touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers has 23. Aaron Rodgers has 4 interceptions. Carson has 5. So he's only got 1 more interception than Aaron Rodgers, but technically has more passing yards and only 1 less touchdown. So, I mean, that is my argument, right? If you're going off stats and whatnot, and what he means to his, obviously I think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback, but stat-wise, there's so much Carson Wentz slander. It is insane.
The only reason he's probably not in the top 5 right now is because of Jonathan Taylor.
Oh,
because you're looking
100%.
at the most valuable player of the team right now. You can't put Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor up there.
No, and I agree. That's why I'm saying he won't win. But the fact that he's not even being considered, and the fact that it took this week until Marcus Spears of ESPN and a couple other people going, we got to put some respect on Carson's name.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
Like, I'll go through TikTok, and it's like the dude said he would take I watch him. I can't remember his name. They're a hot podcast or whatever on TikTok, and he goes, I would take Daniel Jones over Carson Wentz.
Oh, come on.
I was like, what? What? He's like, Carson Wentz is made out of glass. And I was like, he's played through the double injuries.
He is one of the more injury-prone players, and I gave him a lot of crap for that. But you cannot discount his best season with the Eagles and this season with the Colts. The dude is playing phenomenal football, and while he may not win MVP because Jonathan Taylor's taking him out of that,
he'll win comeback player of the
year.
He
should. And if he doesn't, it's a sham. He should win comeback player of the year. And people do need to start putting some respect on his name. I will give you that.
All right, so let's go. Let's play a game, right? Let's play. Well, let me tell you the top as of week 11. Let me pull it out on my phone here. I have it up here. All right, we have as of week 11 NFL quarterback power rankings by ESPN. We have Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. This is just the top 10. Kyler Murray, number 5 is Lamar Jackson. Dak Prescott's number 6. Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert. Where do you think Carson, out of all 32 quarterbacks, falls on this list? Past the top 10. He's obviously not in the top 10 right now. They're week 11.
I would say probably 15.
You and my
15,
dad
14.
You and my dad are on point. I asked my dad the same question. He is 15. These are the quarterbacks who are above him at 14. Ryan Tannehill, garbage this season. Derek Carr is at 13, garbage this season. Kirk Cousins at 12, garbage this season. And Joe Burrow at 11. This is what I mean by disrespect. Disrespect.
That's insane. Hold on, I got to pull this up. What was that?
Let me send it to you.
That is insane.
And then here's
I think I found it here. Let's see.
As of week 11. I sent it to you on Snapchat if you need it. What I'm looking at.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by disrespect. Like, he's not getting no respect. So let's play this game, right? All right, Carson or Josh Allen? Let's get right into it.
Carson.
Exactly. All right, and people are considering Josh Allen elite. Carson or Matt Ryan? This season.
Carson. Carson.
Okay. Derek Carr or Carson or Derek Carr?
That's a slightly tougher question. Derek Carr's putting on a good performance, but I'm going Carson.
All right. Let me tell you that Derek Carr has 3,600 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Carson has 22 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions.
That's why I went with Carson.
Yeah. And then we go to Dak Prescott, who's ranked number 6 on this list. Who you got, Carson or Dak Prescott?
Carson.
All right. Dak Prescott does have more yards. He's at 3,200, 23 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. So he has one more touchdown and a couple more yards. That's it. But I'm still taking Carson as well.
He's got less yards, doesn't he?
Carson has less yards than Dak.
I thought Carson has 29.
Yeah, but Dak has 3,100 or 3,200.
31. Okay.
Yeah. But so it's not by much, but he has less interceptions and fumbles this season compared to Dak.
Okay.
Carson or Ryan Tannehill?
Carson. Ryan Tannehill can't throw for anything.
Yeah. He's got 13 interceptions and 14 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then Carson, we'll just throw this out there. Carson or Jalen Hurts? Not to
Carson.
cause...
Yeah. Carson.
All right. So out of that top 10 list, you said that Carson, you would take Carson over Dak Prescott and Carson over Josh Allen. And this season, I would take Carson over Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has been playing very bad.
The whole team, yeah.
I would say top 5 is probably solidified with Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. That's pretty solid. We're taking Dak out. We're sliding Dak down. Russell way down. Josh Allen down. I'd say Josh Allen's probably 10. Herbert, then Matthew Stafford. Then I'd put Carson at I'd probably put Carson at 6 or 7. That's where I'd put. So the fact that he is at 15 is disrespectful, just on a statistical standpoint. But I mean,
you don't even want to know what NFL.com has him at.
What do they have him at?
They have him at 16.
Yeah,
even
so
further
one lower.
down.
Like this is ridiculous.
They have Teddy Bridgewater above him.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying about disrespect. Hold on.
I mean, you got Teddy Bridgewater, who has been playing some good games, over Carson Wentz, who's been playing phenomenal football. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to play that game, right?
You made your point.
Disrespectful. All right. With that being said, let's go on and move on. You guys let us know your opinion. Listen, just take this take a step back. I know there's a lot of Carson haters out there, but take a step back and really evaluate this season for him. All right. We'll go on to the Eagles. Minshew started this week. Jalen Hurts was hurt. He couldn't go on with his ankle. He went 20 out of 25, 242 yards, 2 TDs. A lot of NFL media were saying that there shouldn't be a controversy, but this is what happens when you have a better passer in the offense. Miles Sanders threw up about $120 on running. They finally utilized him first time in his career. Ever had 20. This is really crazy. Miles Sanders has never had 20 carries in a game until the Jets the other day, which is crazy because he's a very serviceable back. I think he's a really good back. Has the potential to be a top 10 back if you just gave him the ball. So, I mean, I'm not saying, okay, this is what I say. Should Hurts be worried? And before I let you answer this, I think Hurts should remain the starter. I don't think he's done anything to lose the starter job. But I think that if he continues to struggle or if he continues it up and down, which I think he still needs to be able to grow, right? I know I've been kind of harsh on Jalen Hurts. But as far as the situation goes, I'm taking a step back and trying to be unbiased. He still needs to grow, like you said. He's still learning. But there's going to be chirps, because that's Philadelphia. That's Philadelphia media, right? We love the backup. When McNabb was here, we loved Kevin Kolb. When Kevin Kolb was a starter, we realized that we're dumb and we should put Michael Vick in. When Michael Vick was here, we loved Nick Foles. When we got Carson Wentz, we loved Nick Foles. When we had Carson Wentz, we loved Jalen Hurts. So we had Jeff Garcia. When we had McNabb, we loved Jeff Garcia over McNabb. We kind of like the underdog story because of the Rocky kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't think this will affect Jalen Hurts, but I think Philadelphia media will start chirping if he continues to struggle after seeing what Minshew put up. Your thoughts?
Yeah. So knowing who Jalen Hurts is, I mean, he played for Oklahoma.
And he got
I watched him when he played for
game.
Yeah, I watched him play for Alabama. This isn't going to concern him.
No, it's not.
He's been through way too much. He's been benched, like you said, in the national championship game. He's been doubted every single moment in his career. He's been doubted. Everybody doubted him whenever he got drafted, whenever he was put in for Carson Wentz. Granted, there were people like, yeah, put him in, but he was still also doubted. Yeah. He's doubted now. This man has no sense to sit there and listen to anybody doubting him.
Yeah.
I personally think he should in this moment. I have always been a fan of Minshew. I think he was just in a terrible situation in Jacksonville.
He's always been accurate. He's always been good with the ball in his hands.
I watched that entire game just because I wanted to see how Minshew played. I've never seen a more accurate passer.
Besides Mac Jones.
And I don't know how long, aside from Mac Jones. I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. If you're going off of this game solely, you go with Minshew. But then you also have to look at the fact that it was against the Jets.
Yeah, that's another thing you got to factor in 100%.
It wasn't like they went up against the Patriots or some top 5 team or anything like that. They went up against the Jets. He put up 242, 2 touchdowns, 20 for 25. Fantastic numbers, extremely accurate. I would be scared for my job if I was Jalen Hurts and how he has been playing. I am a Jalen Hurts fan. I think he's getting the short end of the stick by the fans. But this should concern him.
Yeah.
You have Miles Sanders who can do the run game, like you've always said. You don't need your quarterback to do it. And you have Minshew who can throw the ball accurately.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the legs that Hurts has, but he's got a little get up and go.
This is where I would say, all right, so, and this is where Minshew has more experience, so he has that better pocket presence, but he's not athletic, right? He's not like Jalen Hurts athletic, but he's still athletic enough to move around. He lets if the pocket is there, he sits in it. He doesn't go, okay, I'm scared. My first read's not there. He actually, you can see him progress in his throws and go, first read's not there, second read's not there, dink and duck, throw it to the running back or whoever your underneath throw is. With Hurts, and this is where I said last week he needs to get better, is his decision making and his how fast he gets rid of the ball. Again, 3.11 seconds most in the NFL it takes for him to throw the ball. That's just calling hike and running around and whatnot. I think that I think Minshew has a slightly better arm, but I don't think Minshew has a top tier talent arm.
Agreed.
I think he's more accurate and more precise in his throws in the sense of he knows where he's going with the football. It seems like with Jalen, sometimes he doesn't know where he's going with the football. And so that's why he'll wait a second and go, no, actually I should throw that. And then it's too late and it either gets intercepted or and then Jalen does make good throws from time to time, especially he excels with over the middle passes from like 5 to 15 yards, which isn't bad. But his deep throws are horrible, which is really hurting the game because we got Quez Watkins. The Eagles have Quez Watkins that is a deep burner. It's kind of hurt his season because that's what we try to use him as a deep burner. And he's only really throwing it to Devontae Smith, who is a exceptional talent. But I want to see Jalen progress, and I think he still deserves another season. Minshew came here knowing, he got traded here, but he kind of knew he was going to be a backup, right? He didn't think he was taking a job. He just played football. He got called on. He played football.
I'll say this. The Eagles will continue to start Jalen Hurts for the remainder of the season, regardless. I mean, if there's injuries, of course,
Yeah.
But Jalen Hurts will be the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles for the remainder of the season. And I think for the first 3 games are going to be the telltale sign of who's going to be the season starter. If Jalen comes out and he's playing fantastic ball for the first 3 games,
this out there,
he's
right? Because the Eagles are in a playoff hunt. If Jalen can't play, we have a bye week, right? So he should have 2 weeks to heal. But if, say, something happens and he doesn't come back next game and Minshew comes out and wins again, and now we're in the playoffs, and Minshew, do you bench Minshew when Jalen, they already said Jalen's the starter, but would you, if Minshew comes out and balls again and wins, would you bench him for Jalen Hurts if you're in the playoffs?
As a new head coach, I'm going with Jalen, but methodically speaking, you've got to keep Minshew.
You got to experience. He's more experienced quarterback if you're going into the playoffs. You play to win the game. You don't play to win for experience.
But the thing is, they drafted Jalen to be their franchise quarterback. They did not trade. They did not trade for Minshew to be the franchise quarterback. And being a new head coach for the Eagles, you got to earn the trust and respect of your quarterback for the team to function. So he needs to decide, who am I going to start the rest of the season?
Well, he's already decided
and
that
next season.
Hurts.
True, but I'm saying if he's not healed and Minshew goes off and has a great game again, you've got a huge dilemma on your hands. Because do we want to win games? We'll go with Minshew. Do we want to win games but have the risk of not really playing as well as we could? We got to let him grow.
Are they going to pull a Dan Mullen and do a loyalty thing? Who knows?
I'm thinking they will.
I think they will. I said a Manny Diaz reference because, Carson was the quarterback, and then he was like, and Howie Roseman had said, we're going to get you help. And then they're like, we drafted your replacement, by the way. And you're like,
adios.
I was the starting quarterback 2 hours ago. I didn't even know I was getting fired. Which ultimately we already kind of knew that was, you don't draft a quarterback in the second round. That's a second round quarterback is a potential starter. You don't do that unless you don't trust your starter.
So all in all, the Eagles have a great backup if it is Minshew. They have a great backup if it's Hurts. You've got 2 pretty decent quarterbacks. One really needs to grow. And I think if you guys lose your next game, I think just start Hurts for the remainder of the season. Try and let him grow. If you guys have playoff potential and Hurts can't play Minshew until you guys get booted out.
And
that's it. That's all I got to say.
Like most Eagles, as young fletchlings, you can start to hear the chirping. So just be careful, Jalen Hurts. Be careful. We move on to the Jets, the team the Eagles beat. Zach Wilson has struggled tremendously all season. Granted, it's the Jets, and they don't really have anybody. Head coaching is kind of, I would say more offensive coordinator is kind of dull with his play calling, which I think kind of hinders Zach Wilson. But Zach Wilson showed some promise. He threw 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and had a QB rating of 89, which is pretty good, right? It's shown improvement, and he was fast with his decision-making, faster than he's ever been all season. You can kind of see him, again, what Kyle Minshew was, going through his progressions. Yes, he missed on a couple throws. He did throw an interception that was kind of aired throw. But he's still learning, and he's on the Jets. What are your thoughts? Is this an improvement? If you're the Jets, are you happy with this game, even though you lost with Zach Wilson?
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. The Jets will forever be the Jets if they continue to do these one and done or two and done players. You got to give these kids a chance to grow, because that's what Zach sense. Wilson is. He's a true kid. You have to give him time to grow. A lot of these teams expect these kids they expect to have a Mac Jones every pick that they draft, right? You have to give them some time to grow. You have to give your head coach some time to get a feel for the team. You can't just throw all these pieces together and expect everything to work flawlessly with no kinks or whatever, and you don't have to put oil anywhere. You have to let the team grow together, and you got to see it play out. You can't be like, you had a bad season, you're out. You got to let him, especially with the Jets. You got nobody on the Jets. Give the kid a break. He's not playing great football, but name one good player Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Corey
it's
Davis.
the Jets. It's the Jets. Give them some time.
Yeah.
They'll be good.
Elijah Moore, the other rookie for the Jets, first rounder. He's playing really well at wide receiver. I will give him that.
Yeah. I say give them some time. They'll figure it out.
It's a young team.
Yeah. So. If they continue to fire and move pieces and bench and all this other stuff, they will never get out of the Jets mode.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we'll go on to our playoff predictions. Before we do that, I'll give you who's in the playoffs right now. For the AFC, we have New England, Tennessee, Baltimore, and Kansas City. In the wild card spot right now, it's Buffalo, the Chargers, and Cincinnati. And in the NFC side, we have Arizona, Green Bay, Tampa, Dallas, the Rams, Washington, and San Francisco in the wild card. So that's who's in right now. What are your predictions like? Do you see a team maybe getting in and a team losing, kind of sneaking out? I don't know. What are your predictions? And then we'll move on from that.
My predictions are it doesn't matter because the New England Patriots are winning the Super Bowl. That's it.
All right. Well, I have I'll get a little more in depth. Indy, I think, will sneak in over Buffalo. They have to beat either the Patriots or the Cardinals this coming weeks, and then beat the Raiders. If they beat the Patriots, lose to the Cardinals, and beat the Raiders, they're in. If they lose to the Patriots, beat the Cardinals, and beat the Raiders, they're in. So I think that it's a slim chance, or it's a pretty decent chance. There's 3 games. You just have to win 2 of them. And I think the Patriots, I mean, they're going to Indianapolis. It's going to be a tough game. Jonathan Taylor is playing great football. So We'll see there. If they beat the Patriots, then I think the Raiders is going to be a pretty decent team to beat. But I think they will beat them, and I think they'll take that final spot over Buffalo.
Yeah.
Then on the NFC side, I don't think the Eagles will get in. But if they do get in,
I think the Eagles will get in, and I don't think the 49ers will.
Okay, I will say this. If the 49ers went out and the Eagles went out, the 49ers have the tiebreaker on the Eagles because they beat us this season.
Yep.
I think they'll go in over Washington. Would be my team, but Tyler Heineke's playing pretty well.
Yeah. Kid's playing some phenomenal football right now.
He is playing great football. So those are our predictions, I think. But we'll go on. So what's your Super Bowl prediction? We talked about the playoffs. What are your Super Bowl predictions?
I'm going to say the Packers versus the Patriots.
Packers. All right.
Yeah. I think the Cardinals are good, but I think Packers got them. I think Patriots.
All right. I'm going Arizona and Kansas City. I think Kansas City has flipped the switch.
All right.
I don't think
that's fair.
I don't think New England wants to see them. I know New England's playing good ball, but Kansas City.
Yeah, I really don't see anybody else in the AFC that would. I see the Patriots and the Chiefs, and that's about it. Yeah, I don't really see anybody else really challenging those 2 teams. So
yeah, especially with running back from Tennessee,
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry being out for the season, and AJ Brown. I think Tennessee might. I think if Indy doesn't beat out Buffalo, if Tennessee loses out, and they have a very good chance because Tannehill's playing horrible. If Indy beats again the Patriots or the Raiders, they don't even have to do that. They can beat the Jags at the end of the season, and the Raiders, and then if the Tennessee Titans lose out, then Indy wins the division. So they're in the playoffs either way. There's 2 roads to that. But, I don't think Baltimore is set to make a push.
No.
I love Lamar Jackson as a quarterback.
I mean,
I don't know if he's a playoff kind of quarterback, though.
Yeah, they're playing some good football considering the injuries they've had and everything that's been against them, but they're definitely not a Super Bowl contender in my opinion.
So you have Green Bay versus New England. I have Arizona versus Kansas City. I guess we'll see at the end of the season how it plays out. I'm excited for the playoffs. They're coming up. I'm number 1 in both my fantasy leagues, so shout out there.
Number 2.
But let's go on and go to our 32-2, and then we'll do our hot takes, and we'll get the show on the road. All right, let me get you got the games up, or I'll get them up.
Yep, I got them.
All
right, I'll give you the Steelers versus the Vikings.
Oh, man. I think the Vikings bounce back, and they beat the Steelers.
All right. going to take the Saints and Jets. I'm going to go with the Jets beating out the Saints. The Saints are beaten down depending on who they play at quarterback. Jets are definitely winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints, they're done for the season. Too much going on with them.
Yeah.
I'll give you the Falcons going up against the Panthers.
I'm going Falcons. I think while the Falcons haven't been playing great, Cam Newton's getting right now 1.9 seconds in the pocket, which is horrible. It's the worst in the league. So I think the Falcons, they have a good pass rush. I think the Falcons take it.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take the Seahawks and the Texans, and I'm going to go with the Seahawks. It looked like they started to turn some things around last week. Texans, they've got absolutely nothing going for them. And beating the 49ers, I think, gives the Seahawks a little bit more of an edge. Give you the Raiders versus the Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs.
All right. Ravens versus Browns. I'm going with the Ravens. The Browns, I don't know what's going on. Cowboys versus the Washington football team.
Two teams I despise, you know that. As always, I have to go against the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys,
I'm with you on that.
I think Cowboys could win, but I think Heineke is playing some great football. Yeah. Even though they lost Logan Thomas at tight end, so I still think the football team beats the Cowboys.
I'm in agreement. Jaguars versus Titans. I'm going with the Titans. Jaguars look terrible against the Rams. Giants versus Chargers.
Giants versus the Chargers. Danny Dimes is still out. Jake Fromm's getting his first start against a big-time opponent in the Chargers. Justin Herbert and the Chargers get the dub.
All right. Lions versus the Broncos. I think the Lions continue their win streak.
Are you really
and beat the Broncos.
Okay. Lions get 2 wins this season.
49ers versus the Bengals.
Bengals.
All right. Bills versus the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers take that one. It's going to be a cakewalk. Bears versus Packers. You know who owns the Bears.
Yeah.
And Rams versus Cardinals.
That's a good one. Just take the whole team. Take your team, man. Just take it.
Look, if the Rams figured out their issues, which it looks like they did against the Jaguars, the Rams have a real shot, but unfortunately, I'm going with the Cardinals.
All right. Congratulations.
And that's it. Yeah.
All right. That's our 32-2. We'll go ahead and get into our hot takes before we go into conclusions and end the show. Do you have any hot takes, Taylor, to give out in the world?
I have one hot take for the Detroit Lions. You won one game and you celebrated like you won the Super Bowl. That is terrible for the franchise. That just shows how horrible you guys have been and will continue to be if you celebrate one game. You need to take that win as a regular season win, which it was, and move on to the next game. You're going to be completely focused on that win, and it's going to hinder you for the rest of the season, and it's going to hinder you next season because you celebrated so much for one win, and it was down to the wire. I'm glad I called it. I'm glad you guys won. It was great. Game. It was great to watch. It was great to see you guys get a win, but you guys overreacted to the win, and unfortunately, I don't ever see in the Detroit Lions being worth anything.
Jared Goff's own girlfriend didn't even go to the game. So
yeah, she was at the beach.
Yeah,
that's how bad you guys are.
But that's a good hot take, you know. I think mine will be, and I put it out in the atmosphere earlier, that this will be the first year ever that the Heisman is won by a defensive player and the MVP is won by a defensive player. I want Jonathan Taylor to win, but I think if Trayvon Diggs keeps picking quarterbacks off, it's going to be too hard to keep it away from him. So that's my bold prediction, is that this will be the year that defensive players rule. Writes it down.
I got you locked in for that.
Locked in. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. I know Taylor does as well. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave down your comments, your opinions. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. Let us know. We always love to hear it. And again, new episodes of Sideline to Sideline NFL Edition released every Thursday at 6 p.m. right before the games. And College Edition, if you're more into college, those are released Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Taylor, I'll give you your final thoughts, and then that'll be it.
I've got nothing else to add. I appreciate everybody stopping in and watching. I hope you guys like, follow, and subscribe. And if you have anything for us that you want us to talk about next week, or you have something you disagree with that we've said this week, go ahead and put it in the comments. We're always willing to listen and debate every single week.
Yes. All right. Thank you, guys.